Greetings children. This video lesson is for class 11 CBSE students. This is the final part of the explanation series of We Are Not Afraid to Die If We Can All Be Together, written by Gordon Cook and Alan East. The previous 3 parts you can get the links from the description box. Now let us move on to the last part of this lesson. Let's move. So the last section starting from page number 17, section here. I checked and rechecked my calculations. We had lost our main compass and I was using a spare which had not been corrected for magnetic variation. So now Captain Gordon Cook wanted to find out the small island, Isle Amsterdam, in the vast ocean of Southern Indian Ocean. And he calculated the direction of the ship. He checked and rechecked, and they had lost their main compass. After the wave hit, they couldn't recover the real compass that they had, but he also kept one spare. But this spare had not been corrected for magnetic variation. Look at this picture. This is the compass. The ship people used it to find their direction. This picture shows the magnetic differences with the meridian. But the compass they had, the spare compass, didn't exactly calculate how much variation happened with the direction. Look at that. I made an allowance for this and another estimate of the influence of westerly currents which flow through this part of the Indian Ocean. So here I made an allowance for this. Made an allowance or make an allowance is an idiom. Let us check its real meaning. Make an allowance for something or someone, which means to prepare adequately for someone or something. One example, my whole family is coming to Thanksgiving dinner now. So you better make allowance for 7 more people at the table. So make allowance here simply means to prepare adequate situation, to prepare adequate facility. Look at the next example. The weather there is pretty inconsistent at this time of year. So make allowances for that when you pack. So make allowances here means prepare adequately for facing that weather also. So make allowances. Here Captain Gordon Cook made allowances with the defect he found in the sextant, in the compass, and the amount of westerly winds. Come back to the story. Westerly currents which flow through this part of the islands. So he made an allowance. He prepared well by calculating, by minusing and adding all the influence of even westerly currents and the magnetic variations that the compass didn't show. He made everything clear. About 2 p.m. I went on deck. Deck is the top portion of a boat or ship where people usually stand and watch the sea, and asked Larry to steer a course of 185 degrees. Now the ship is controlled by Larry and he told him to steer a course of 185 degrees. Look at this compass. If they keep this at 185 degree, it will go in the same direction. They need not deviate it into any direction. So Captain Gordon Cook gave instruction to the captain that they should to move at 180 degree, steer a course of 185 degree. If we were lucky, I told him with a conviction. So Captain Gordon Cook told Larry to steer, to direct the ship at 185 degree. If we were lucky, I told him with conviction. I did not feel he could expect to see the island at about 5 p.m. So after all the calculations he had done, he told Larry that they should head forward at 185 degree, and if they were lucky, they could find the small island of Amsterdam at around 5 p.m. He told this with conviction, with confidence to Larry, but he did not feel so because the calculation may wrong. So he didn't feel it, but he told that in conviction. Look at the word conviction. A family held belief or opinion is called conviction. It has another meaning also, a formal declaration by the verdict of a jury or decision of a judge in court of law that someone is guilty of a criminal offense. That is also called conviction. He was convicted for the murder, we can say. But here conviction means a family held belief. Look at these synonyms: belief or opinion, thought or persuasion. All these are synonyms for conviction. Look at the next paragraph. Then with a heavy heart, I went below, climbed on my bunk, and amazingly dozed off. With a heavy heart. Heavy heart is a phrase which means that with a sorrowful heart, a heavy heart, a sad heart, he went below. Below means in his cabin, and he climbed on my bunk. Bunk is the bed that made along with the frame of the ship, and amazingly dozed off. Look at the phrasal verb, doze off. Dozed off or dozing off or dozes off. It means to fall asleep, especially for a short period of time. That is called doze off. Its past tense is dozed off. He fallen asleep for a short while. When I woke, it was 6 p.m. and growing dark. In the afternoon, he went to sleep, and when he woke up, it was already 6 and darkness started spreading there. I knew we must have missed the island. Must have missed the island here means most likely they missed the island, he thought, because darkness already started spreading. He expected he would reach there at 5 p.m. But now the time is 6 p.m. And with the sail we had left, we could not hope to beat back into the westerly winds. Once again, he felt that heaviness in his heart. With the sail here means the sailboat, the ship we had left. What he had left? A damaged ship, the damaged sail. With that, he could not hope to beat back into the westerly winds. Even now, the westerly winds continued. They could not beat back it. To fight against this westerly wind, he thought. To beat back means to fight back that westerly wind. At that moment, a tousled hat appeared by my bunk. When he was thinking all this, he saw a little head, a tousled head, appeared by my bunk. Just near his bed, he saw a tousled head. Tousled head here means a head with disarranged hair. Due to the heavy wind, they couldn't keep their hair in proper way. That's why the writer said here, tousled head, the disarranged hair of the boy he saw near his bed. "Can I have a hug?" Jonathan asked. Yes, the tousled head was that of Jonathan, the small boy, the 6-year-old boy. "Can I have a hug?" Hug here means to embrace and give him a hard kiss. He wanted to give his father a hug. Sue was right behind him. Not only Jonathan, Susanna was also right behind him. "Why am I getting a hug now?" I asked. Then Gordon Cook asked the boy why he was getting a hug at this time of their journey. Then he replied, "Because you are the best daddy in the whole world and the best captain," my son replied. So something must have happened there, but he couldn't know what it is. The little boy wake up his father and told him that he was the best captain and the best father in the world. And Captain Gordon Cook couldn't understand why he was telling all this. Then he said, "No, not today, John. I am afraid." "Why do you want to hug me now?" Jonathan's father asked him. "Not now. I am afraid." "I am afraid" is a phrase we use or we come across in many English textbooks. "I am afraid" means "I am sorry." "I am afraid" used to express polite or formal apology or regret, which means that sorry. "I'm sorry, I'm afraid." Gordon Cook said he was afraid. He was sorry for that. "Why, you must be," said Sue in a matter-of-fact voice. A matter-of-fact voice means in a very firm voice, a very factual voice. "You found the island." And she told him that he found the island, Isle Amsterdam, the French scientific base in the southern Indian Ocean. He found it. "What?" I shouted. He was really shocked to hear it because he thought that he had lost it. Because it was already 6 o'clock. The time to reach at the island was already over. So it really shocked him. So he asked, "What?" "It's out there in front of us. Look there, it's there in front of us," they chorused. Both the children together told him that they saw the island as big as a battleship. So that island was only as big as a battleship. They could see it at a distance. I rushed on deck. Immediately he rushed to the deck and gazed with relief and looked with great relief at the stark outline, the clear-cut outline of Isle Amsterdam. The stark outline of Isle Amsterdam. It was only a bleak piece of volcanic rock with little vegetation. Actually, this Isle Amsterdam was only a bleak piece of volcanic rock. Bleak means an area of land lacking vegetation and exposed to the elements. That is called bleak. So this island is only a bleak volcanic rock. But he said the most beautiful island in the world. But anyhow, for him and his family and the crew members of F.E.A.R, it was the most beautiful island in the world. Why he said it was the most beautiful island in the world, even though he described it as a bleak piece of volcanic rock? Simply because the finding of the island really saved their lives. So he felt that it was the most beautiful island in the world. So, most beautiful island. The Isle Amsterdam appeared to be the most beautiful island to the narrator because finding it saved them from drowning. That's why he called Isle Amsterdam the most beautiful island in the world, even though it is only a bleak volcanic rock. Look at this. This is the Amsterdam Island in the middle of southern Indian Ocean. This is the photograph of the island, Isle Amsterdam. This is the scientific base of the French people. This is another picture of the same island, Isle Amsterdam. Come to the next page. We anchored offshore for the night. Offshore here means a little away from the shore. They stopped, they anchored, they stopped their vessel just away from the shore that night. And the next morning, all 28 inhabitants of the island cheered. Cheered means they were so happy as they helped us ashore. Ashore means come to the shore. The 28 inhabitants of the Isle Amsterdam helped Captain Gordon Cook and other people to come ashore from the wave walker. The night they spent in the offshore, and in the morning all the inhabitants helped them to come to the shore. So offshore here means situated at sea some distance from the shore. They anchored the vessel offshore, which means they stopped the vessel at the sea some distance away from the shore. Come to the last paragraph. With land under my feet again, my thoughts were full of Larry and Herbie, cheerful and optimistic under the direst stress. Once they landed at the Isle Amsterdam and he felt land under his feet. His thoughts went for Larry and Herbie, their cheerful attitude, their optimism, their belief that they would recover all these adversities, and that they kept even in the direst stress. Direst here means causing or involving great fear or suffering or terrible. Even under terrible circumstances, they kept their optimism and cheerfulness in their work and faith. That saved them from this adversity. And of Mary, who stayed at the wheel for all those crucial hours. She also facilitated the work of Mary, his wife, because in the most difficult situation, she had controlled the steering. Most of all, I thought of a 7-year-old girl who did not want to worry about, who did not want us to worry about a head injury. Then his thoughts went to his own daughter, the 7-year-old Susanna, who did not want us to worry. She never in the entire journey wanted to worry her father or mother about a head injury, which subsequently took 6 minor operations to remove a recurring blood clot between skin and skull. Once they landed at a safe place, they had conducted 6 minor operations on the head injury of Susanne. But she tolerated that injury. She never ran behind her parents to look after her. And of a 6-year-old boy who was not afraid to die. And his next gratitude was with his son, a 6-year-old boy, who boosted his morale by telling him that he was not afraid to die because they were all together. So this story of optimism and adventure tells us that we have to keep our presence of mind during the direst circumstances in our life. Let us check some quotes related with this lesson. Look at, fear is one of the themes discussed in this story. Fear has 2 meanings. forget everything and run away. That is fear. Fear. F.E.A.R. Fear, forget everything and run away. Or face everything and rise. Face everything and rise. Here also fear. You can define fear in these two ways. So here Captain Gordon Cook took the second meaning of fear. Face everything and rise to the occasion. He did so. Look at this quote. Life begins at the end of your comfort zone. Once you leave your comfort zone, life begins only there. That's why Captain Gordon Cook and family took out this adventurous journey in the seas. Because they experienced that life begins only at the end of their comfort zones. Because a ship in harbor is safe, but that is not what ships are built for. If they keep inside their house, if they live inside their house, they need not worry anything about it. But life is not like that. Life means somehow we have to take some adventures. Somehow we have to face certain adversities in life. That is what these people show us. So in such dire situations, we should keep our attitude at a positive level. Attitude is the difference between an ordeal and an adventure. So they took it as an adventure, not as an ordeal, because their attitude, the attitude of each one in the journey, they showed that their attitude is optimistic, positive, and they wanted to make it happen. And finally, it happened like that. So they took it as an adventure, not as an ordeal. So these are the lessons, these are the life lessons, these are the skills this lesson tells us. Thank you for watching till the end. Don't forget to share this video with your friends. And don't forget to thumbs up if you like this video.